Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody, from a rainy day here in Westport, Connecticut. Harrison, can you just open up the chat quickly before we get started? I'd like to ask you all a question. So I want you guys to write two things in the chat. One, what has been like your biggest win so far? And two, what would be most helpful at this moment? So go ahead and drop that in the chat, and I will share with you what we're going to do with the information in a minute. The offer page, the MedC, role playing. So if you're going to share what would be most helpful, use the words what would be most helpful so we're not confused as to your win and what you need help with. And people who write getting organized is a huge win. So guys, if you can clarify what's most helpful, great info with scripts. And what do you need, right? I would need, or what I would find most helpful, is likely to sell a win, or is it something you need help with? Because guys, we went through a likely to sell session. Likely to sell is just a very simple process that you can follow being an information marketer through Google Alerts. It's good to hear what people want because this is what actually influences our programming. So we're going to talk about a seller checklist today. How many people actually have a seller checklist that they work off of? And your mind's a great checklist, right? That's always my favorite one. So write these 3 words down. And I'm going to teach you the framework of how to actually build out a process and list. There's before, there's during, and there's after. So for some people, you can work backwards or you can work forwards. Now, when you talk about before, and this is literally what our next program that a lot of you have been providing feedback on is, it's literally the end-to-end client experience for sellers, what you do before, during, and after a transaction. Now, if you're thinking through this, I always go back to the 4 seasons of the Ritz-Carlton. It is a repeatable and predictable experience. You guys all have processes and lists and systems in the way that you do things, but being a salesperson and an operational thinker are completely 2 different mindsets. It actually uses probably 2 different parts of your brain. So when you go to before, what are all the things that you have to do before a property goes on market? And you could break your before down into actually 3 different sections. Number 1, before you meet a seller, right? What do you do to prepare for the initial appointment? And then after you meet a seller and say they sign your agreement, what are the things that you do before the house even is listed on the market? And then the third part of before is your pre-launch marketing. So it's before you meet a seller, before the house goes live on the actual market, and before is your pre-launch marketing. And all these things you start filling out. And again, this is where I'll suggest you guys partner with other people in groups we're working on for the next playbook, like a big CSC day where we're going to figure out how to encourage people well in advance to go to other markets, connect with people. We're going to offer some special training. It'll be pretty cool. Because one of the things that we realized too is there is such a win for you to have in collaborative learning, meaning learning through multiple people's experiences. So you'll get one of those big, large Post-it notes that I always talk about, and just start brain dumping visually in these sections what you put into the process. So before you meet a seller, some people could say, I go research the property card, the C of O, I look up the old MLS listing, all these different things. Verify the taxes, verify the HOA charges. Contact the seller and do the Med C. I send an email that has the benefits of Compass technology. I send an email that confirms my appointment. Do you guys see all the small details get filled out? So the reason that we want to do the large Post-it notes, excuse me, is your brain will process information differently based on the way that it sees it. So if you see it in a printed sheet, that's one way. If you write it in the notes section of your phone, it's another way. If you write it in a Google Doc, it's another way. If you put it all on a whiteboard, it's another way. And the reason that we choose the Post-it notes is that it allows you to see something as a whole, but it allows your brain to process things individually because they're on one sheet. So as you map out your entire checklist, you're going to be able to look at it in silos and in continuity. And you'll find a way to start filling in the gaps. And then when you're on a pitch, you can literally take this and you can, instead of writing seller checklist, you could call it predictable client experiences, predictable client experiences. Seller questionnaire, equity protection plan, seller checklist, predictable client experiences. And then you can literally show somebody, this is how we organize and execute your transaction, similar to any of the great places you go. Why do you love going to the Four Seasons? Because you know it's a predictable experience. All right, let's just do a pulse check. Do we all get the concept of this? Okay. So if anyone has a ninja trick that they do before going on an appointment, drop it in the chat so that people have it. And I wanted to show you guys today what it's like to actually learn with other people. So no one has anything really good that they do before an appointment. A video message. Yep. I play music to pump me up. So there is a appointment ritual, right? People actually go through doing the same things as if they're going to present. A text the day before. I can give you a checklist, but this is just one way that we suggested doing it. It'll be a 0 to 1. However, you want to be able to fill in all the details yourself. And you want to start to understand how to think this way. Remember, we always say that mindset coaching is the ability to think through something differently than you presently do today. Performance coaching is the art of getting things done. Time blocking, execution, and tactics is what you need to do. So we're really hitting on all three parts of the triangle today. So when you say research sellers, the thing that you want to do is research. You want to put like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, however many bullet points, what that means. A video message. It could be a personalized message, but be very clear with yourself. So in what you're effectively trying to communicate in the message. Because then you're doing a similar message over and over again. It's going to be easier to do, and repetition creates confidence. Exactly. I personalize it to the client. So generally a video message would be good after doing the Med C. So I would say to you, hey, Sue, thank you so much for taking some time to meet with me. I'm excited to help you get to Florida so that you and your wife when you retire, have that extra money to go on all those vacations you want. In a separate email, I'm sending over a quick video where you can see the benefits of Compass technology, as well as our written marketing plan and our predictable communication plan. If you have any questions, please let me know. I look forward to seeing you Thursday at 3 p.m. Done. But guys, this stuff becomes easy, but the challenge that we all have is it's all in here. So we're constantly just reacting to things. You know, how many times in real estate you're like, oh my God, I got to do that. Or your client calls, hey, I was just about to get that to you. That's bad, right? We do the same business over and over and over again. So that's before meeting somebody. Now, after they sign the contract, the appointment, what happens after the listing pitch, right? This is still all in the before part. Some people send a handwritten note. Some people send a gift. Some people send a gift from Compass Gift Center. Some people send a follow-up message. You should have a note for a check-in call, something to update your CRM with the notes and high levels of the appointment. What do you do after you meet somebody? This is all still in the before process. Anyone got any ninja tricks that they want to share with the group about what they do after an appointment? Video message, video thank you. Some people send flowers, brownies, handwritten note. I think a personalized handwritten note based on the conversation experience you had is one of the best things you could do. If anyone uses a cool app to send gifts, drop it in the chat. Sugar Wish, Compass Gift Center. I like Compass Gift Center because you could do it like in a bulk mail format where you could send like 20 people flowers at once. Excuse me. Now, after they sign the agreement, what happens then? Do you send copies of disclosures, listing contracts? How do you organize photo, video, stagers, decluttering, all of those things now in preparing the home? What goes into that? So there'd be preparing the home, and then there would be like executing the visual story. What do you do? See, Sue, you seem like a great person that can run an accountability group on this. Give them a timeline and checklist. Remember this. One of the biggest things that you can give somebody is clarity through communication. And try not to do things in piecemeal. Remember, I always use the example of the show 24. This doesn't need to happen for real time for people. You know, agents have marketing calendars that say, this is our launch process. We do photos on Tuesday. We do this thing on Wednesday. This is what we do on Thursday. Properties go on the market, and generally where your property falls within the schedule. And the reason we do this is it's able to maximize your results and get clients a better outcome. People are going to push back on your process because most people don't have a process and it's not properly communicated. So how do you prepare someone's home for sale? What are all the steps that you do? Write all of those down. After that, photo, video, marketing collateral, coming soon, private exclusive, digital ads, video generator, a review of all the things that you did with them in pre-launch through insights reports, and a meeting, chance to improve the price or make any adjustments before you go to market. How do you share after you take the photo, videos, and marketing with them? Like, here's all your marketing collateral. Please review and let me know if you see any areas and opportunities where we could share the story of your home in a more effective way. Or excuse me, I would say any way that you feel. If there's anything in the marketing that you feel that could be added to share the story of your home in a way that you'd find more compelling, please let us know. If you get the client's buy-in for the photos, the videos, the marketing, the collateral, your open house that's coming up, your broker open house, the strategy that you use, is there any place that they can really be mad at you when they look in their inbox and there's a copy of everything you do, an email that shows them what you're doing, what comes next, and they're buying an email and in writing and on the phone or text or email, whatever it is, saying that, no, this is great, this is perfect, we don't want any adjustments. So when you need a price improvement, this is where you can actually find one. You've done everything that you've needed to do. Remember, we use the word partnership. This is a partnership. Most people that I find that are agents will work like this. They'll call Wayne up. Hey, Wayne, are you free Thursday for the photos? Oh, okay, that's great. Oh, the stager coming on Tuesday. Do you think we can meet with the stager on Tuesday? And by the way, before the stager comes, can you blank, 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 blank? Like it's overwhelming. So before a person has ever stepped foot in this person's house to criticize it from top to bottom, it's frustrating. And it doesn't have to be that way. If I was an agent right now, I'd be writing that whole predictable client experience thing to start to finish. Because here's the thing, when you go on a pitch and you're able to clearly identify what you do before, during, and after for a person and someone else can't, they're going to already know without even thinking that you're more organized, you're more strategic, it's going to be a better experience for them. All the people that said, well, we're newer agents, we don't have enough experience, you show up more prepared with everyone. People that are experienced, you know what happens? They get comfortable. They forgot how hard it was to get their listings in the beginning, how hard it was for people to buy into working with them. And they just show up. I am Chirag Shah. I'm a great agent. You know, here's what I do. Here's what I have. Here's my track record. But like that grit and grind that comes with building and starting something new and facing a lot of challenges, a lot of people forget over time. And there's such a value in collaboration. You know, as many of you guys have worked with Kate here, I would say one of the keys to her success being her coach is Kate fundamentally understands one thing: experience is worth more than money. And she's playing the long game. Jess Sigmund, who many of you know, who's grown an incredible business in the last 3 years at Compass, when she got here, she would just partner with agents, shadow them, follow them around, offer to do things for free because experience is worth more than money. And that's how she learned the whole high-end luxury market from some of the best agents in this area. So if you're new, find somebody that can mentor you in the sense of in the field as well. Take the coaching that you have, apply the principles, but sometimes just being around another person, you pick up on little things. So now we've gone all the way through the launch period, right? And the thing that you want to make sure is there's some key meetings that you want to have. Number one, it's reviewing your entire marketing plan, the execution of what you promised. Remember, the real sales doesn't start till somebody hires you. So you'll want to sit down and say, look, here's our calendar. Here's what we did. Here's what we promised. What do you think? Do you feel that this tells your home? Do you feel that this shares your home story in the best light possible, where it's going to attract the most buyers? Oh yeah, this is great, Chirag. Like, I love this. What do you think about the video? Go through, here are the email assets we use. Here's how we market to brokers. Put all that stuff together and talk to them about it. Because if there is something that they want change, you know what? They're going to be very happy that you did it before. How many times have you put a property live and a seller freaks out about something? It happens all the time. All the time. You can see the landmines if you look down. Most people, when they're walking forward, aren't looking down or up. The second thing is a marketing meeting is one, and then you go through coming soon, private exclusive. And if you're not using digital ads with your pre-listing marketing, you're crazy. It is one of the best ways to start with momentum because all those clicks are online showings. So you can show someone how your marketing worked, how much time they're spending on the listing, and this will have the seller feeling good. And if you ever need to get a price improvement before the listing even begins, it's like a jukebox. The more money you put in, the more clicks you get. And I could say to somebody, I'd say, hey, Rob, we got 942 clicks, which are essentially online showings, but there were no requests to see your property. Why do you think that is? Go back and put it on them. Let's look at what buyers are doing on your listing. Have them do the stopwatch trick. And then I would turn around and ask them, do you feel if someone looked at a listing this long, spent this much time, there's nowhere to improve, the photos, the videos, and you agree the marketing would, based on the way your story was told, would attract the most buyers, why do you think they didn't request a showing after spending this much time? They're going to say it's the price. Works every time. But it could open up a conversation. Now let's go to during the listing. Now the listing's live. You're going to want to have an open house checklist, a broker open house checklist. You're going to want to document all the emails you do, how you market through multiple platforms. How you talk about a home through an email blast to a group of people is different than how you talk about it in an email blast to a group of brokers. How you take literally the same picture and communicate it on social media is different too. And I'm going to ask one thing of the 153 people here today. Please go through and segment your email list. I have like a mental block list of agents that just send spam like this. And the best part is some of these people have no idea what they're doing. They're sending 4 emails out about their open house in another state or that I never even agreed to want to get, but there's 4 separate emails. I would show you my Compass inbox, but then I would honestly embarrass all the agents that do this. It'd be very bad. There was somebody that sent me 7 emails yesterday, 7. Price reduction, new to market, good God. Go through your list and stop sending agents that you want to build relationships, your open houses. They don't care. Don't send them your broker house. They don't care. You just sold the property. They don't care. And do you know what you're literally doing when you're sending these messages? You're stealing time from somebody. Either somebody's clicking the box and they're deleting it, or they're paying their assistant money to do that. And either way, both parties could be more productive. So everyone has a task to do, is clean up who they send these messages with. Now, when you're marketing in terms of a checklist, take a picture, tell a story, share an experience. Think of all these emails like a cool trailer to the movie. They don't tell you the whole movie. They tell you a part that you get really excited about, so you want to come in. Abby's paying somebody to get rid of these emails. That is terrible. It's a good call on your end, but it's terrible that people do that to you. Also, during it, the way that you collect feedback, the way that you collect the document, your communication calls, all of these things have to become part of your process. When you get offers, what's your process in reviewing the offers with the client? By the way, this came up in a conversation yesterday, is that when you are reviewing offers with clients, it is very important to say that at times the offers won't go through for a multiple set of reasons. There could be challenges in negotiation with the inspection. The home could not appraise. The buyer could have a change of life circumstances. And the reason you want to do this is so that the seller, if the offer changes or something happens, they're not mad at you. A really good thing is you unsubscribe from people's stuff, but then you don't get any of their emails anymore. We all want to set the standard for how to more effectively communicate and build agent relationships. So going through the offer process, what happens when the property goes into contract? Because once the listing's live, it's, market update, which is collections, going in there and giving comments. It's going through the insights reports. It's documenting the number of showings, showing feedback, and then sharing it with the client. Then what happens when it goes into contract? Sorry about that. I think one of my kids gave me a cold. So what happens when it goes into contract? What happens prior to closing, the walkthrough, everything else, the inspection checklist you have. If I were doing this and I were you, I would share with the seller as part of it. Prior to the inspection, we send all the information from your equity protection plan and remind them that the inspection is not to renegotiate any of the things that were disclosed, as well as any of the things that they've seen in the present condition there are today. Contract to closing, you're done. And after, you're going to want to put in, updating the CRM, the address, a new handwritten note, the gift to the client. At some point, you want to put extending the relationship of having a conversation of how you'll stay in touch with them. And all of you need to have a plan for how to stay in touch with clients and moved out of the area. And soup to nuts, this is how you build your own seller checklist. Now, don't worry. No one has to write it in the chat. We will be attaching a copy of the one we have for you. So you will have something to start off of, but I still encourage everyone to go through this process for themselves. Who feels good about doing this? For those of my friends of the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. For the 40 of you that have turned your camera on today, you guys feel good. That's good. Here we go. Hey, Abby. Hey, Dan. Bill. Carrie, nice to see you. So look, my action item for you is this. Find someone else. And it does not matter if they're in your office. Like, let's all just move on from that, please. Collaboration outdoes scarcity every time. Find a partner and do this with them. If you're on a team, this is a great thing for an entire team to do together. Talk about building continuity in client experiences. And everyone has an opinion and everyone has something valuable to add. So I hope you guys got today an understanding on how to think more operationally, what the process is, how to get it out of your head, how to think about every single step. And hopefully you guys reach out to each other and start getting together. If there are bigger checklists like this that you want to build, I would encourage people that are like in the tri-state area or somewhere else it's reasonable, right? I know that I could fly. It'll take me longer to get to JFK from my house than it will to get on a plane and go to Raleigh. There's so many different places that you can go within 2 hours or less. Go get a group of 4 to 6 people together. Go mastermind for 2 or 3 days and take the bigger things you learn, sit in a room and jam out and build it all together and build a super system. The opportunities are out there for the action takers and the people that are okay being uncomfortable. So as always, with love in my heart, I love you all. I hope you have a great week. We do have a webinar about how to travel with points. I have to tell you, I've been using this for a while now. It is the coolest thing. Who's seen the emails about that? Anybody? You do not want to miss this. There's this whole world, and I'll warn you, it is like slightly addicting. But if you actually choose to work with them, they'll actually go through your bank statements and say, You know what? Like based on your credit card spending, they'll say you should use this credit card for this spend, this credit card for this spend, and you really maximize your points. With the amount of money that most of us spend in our businesses in a year, you can travel to the nicest hotels, first class airline tickets, and all of these other things for free. Free. I used their system the other day and I got tickets with points that if I actually spent money would have cost me like $32,000. So this is fun. It's free. They'll share a ton of information. They'll share with you how they'll do it on their own. And if you want to work with them, you could work with them. But I think this is something everyone could know. This has been one of the biggest eye openers that I've had. You know, you have American Express Gold, certain business or marketing expenses, you can get 4 times the points. Imagine it. We had an agent that called American Express and she was spending $20,000 a month on Zillow. So she convinced him to update it to marketing. I don't know how she did this, but she was getting 80,000 Amex points a year, almost 1 million points a year just from her regular Zillow spend. And that's how she would travel. So I don't want to give too much of it away. And I think you guys all should join. So happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope you all have a great day and I'll talk to you soon.